Welcome to the leading podcast for long-term weight management. Subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss an episode. You can connect with Jenny on all social media channels. You can also sign up to the newsletter to receive frequent content and tips for weight loss success.
Hey guys, welcome to the Power Over Food podcast. I am your host, Jenny McDonald, the Food Freedom Fairy, and I create the magic of weight loss without the diet. Good morning. Well, I say good morning because it is morning here. In fact, it's super early. So if I sound a little bit croaky, that is probably why. But I need to get this podcast recorded before I go off out for the day, as today I am having a photo shoot, which is super exciting. Now, before I dive into today's subject, I just wanted to mention that I had a masterclass last week, and it was last Wednesday. What is it today? It's Saturday today when I'm recording this. And the feedback has been phenomenal. And I shared so many tips for the ladies who attended to implement straight away into their lives. And I've received messages yesterday saying, Jenny, I feel so much different. I feel so better. I'm on track. I feel like I've refocused with my weight loss. So if you have not caught the replay and you are listening before Thursday, the 18th of May, go and grab the replay. Drop me a message and I will send it to you. Email me at jennymc.com and I will send it to you. Because honestly, I wish every woman could watch this, because I think it will really give you some real shifts with your weight loss. And on that masterclass, I also announced Food Freedom Foundations, which is a new program I have designed, 8 weeks, to create real foundations and real shifts with your relationship with food. So again, if you are looking for a little bit of support, maybe you don't want to dive into something that is too long, you're not sure how long you want to commit to, but you want to work with me, then this is like an entry-level program. This is 8 weeks of live coaching with recorded clean videos to support you. So that means that I'm not going to record the calls, I'm going to record the lessons separately, so you also have them to look back on for forever. You're going to have all of my support in terms of releasing emotional eating, self-sabotage, and just making some tweaks with food so that you can move forward with your weight loss and lose weight with ease and speed. Because once you align your energy, you will find that weight loss is a million times easier. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about various challenges that we face. And what I did after the masterclass was I asked the ladies on the live what their biggest challenges were. And I thought today I would share some of those challenges, obviously not the ladies' names, but some of their challenges and my tips for them. So, several ladies messaged me to say they had lost a certain amount of weight and they felt that they were stuck. I think one had lost 5 stone and she said she had 2 stone left to go, but she felt like she was just stuck and she was just plodding along. And the other lady, I'm not sure how much she'd lost, but she only had 10 stone to go. So I want to talk about this because this is really common with us when we lose a certain amount of weight, but we want to lose more and we just don't seem to get to that final bit. Let's look at what's happening here. So first of all, I often think that when we are starting a weight loss journey from the first place you start from your heaviest weight, if you like, you are coming from a place where you obviously don't want to be where you are, otherwise you wouldn't be trying to lose weight. And the motivation at that place, the willpower, the desire, if you like, the desire to do it is greater. because you really don't want to be where you are. So you are more fired up to hit your goals. Once you've lost a considerable amount of weight, things change a little bit. So if you've only got 10 pounds or only got 2 stone to go, yet you've lost 5 or 6 stone, then you're going to be feeling pretty amazing. So first of all, well done if that is you, because you're going to be feeling amazing that you've already achieved such a great loss. And things are going to have changed in your life, and people will be telling you how amazing you are, how great you look. And you will feel amazing. You will feel that, wow, like I've come so far. So that last bit becomes far more challenging because you feel great. You're not in that place you was before where you feel miserable and you desperately want to change. You're in a place where you feel pretty good. The desire to do that last bit is not as great. So it's harder to motivate yourself to keep going. It's the same as me with my book. When I was starting to write it, I was like, I've got to do this. It was such a mountain to climb. Now I've written it, the edit is so difficult. And there's various reasons for that. But one of the reasons is I feel like I've done it. It's like, well, my book's there. So when people say, how's your book? I'm like, well, I have written it. And the thought of, I've got to write a whole book, I need to keep going with it, is not there anymore because it's done. So the motivation, the desire to do it has changed. Now the desire obviously is to get to the end of the edit and get it published, but there's so much more. It becomes so much harder when you get down to those intricate details, the same as it does when you're getting down to those last pounds, the last hurdle of your weight loss. The other thing is you are getting further and further away from where you've been comfortable for so long. So I know you probably wasn't comfortable because you wanted to change, but it's also a safety place. You know that in that heavier body, in that larger body, that you knew your place in the world, you knew exactly who you was on a subconscious level. And as we start to move away from that place, our subconscious can be kind of kicking up some thoughts. You've lost enough now. It doesn't matter if you don't get to goal. You're fine as you are. And it doesn't really want us to get to that end goal because that is so far away from where we were. So your subconscious mind is probably feeding you a lot of, you don't need to do this anymore. You can stay where you are. You're fine as you are. And if you want to learn more about that from an energy perspective, I talked about this quite a lot in the masterclass about moving away from our comfort zone and about aligning to a new identity. And that's what you need to do. If you've lost an incredible amount of weight, you are not the same person. So you need to take your subconscious mind with you and align to that new identity. You need to be that person that has a peaceful relationship with food, that can manage her weight with ease. So what are my tips for you? Well, what I would say is if you are stuck in that place, revisit your goals. Think about what difference does it make to you to lose that last bit? How is that going to impact your life? Because actually, if it's not going to make that difference, then you're certainly not going to be driven to do it. So you need to find some real sticking points for you that if you don't do that last bit, how is that going to impact your life and how are you going to feel? And hook onto that for motivation. So revisit your goals. Why do you want to do this last bit? And then revisit your plan, because as you lose weight, your initial plan to lose weight might need tweaking. So for example, if you're doing it by calorie counting, which I know some of the ladies that contacted me, or one of the ladies that contacted me was, your body will need less calories as you get smaller. And that is just because you are not carrying around that extra weight. So you are not expending as much calories. What you could eat and lose weight at 5 stone heavier, you probably won't be able to now. And if you are quite a small, petite lady, so for example, I'm only 5'2", think sometimes there's some acceptance to, I just can't eat as much as I want to eat in terms of calories. So sometimes people say, but that's really not a lot of calories. And it's not, but then we're not a lot of person. We're a small body, and small, short women that haven't got a lot of weight to lose don't necessarily need many calories. So you need to be burning more calories or eating less calories. And I don't want to go into calorie counting and things because that's not what I'm here to talk about. But you need to really think, am I still eating more than my body needs to be in a deficit to lose weight? But more so, am I eating the right foods? Because people might see a small amount of calories as not much food, but it's because of the type of foods they're eating. When you are eating your veg, your whole foods, your meat, your nuts, chickpeas, just all your goodness, your protein, that's the word I was looking for, your protein, I told you it was early in the morning, then you are going to be far more in quantity of food than if you are eating calorie controlled processed items. If you're eating a breakfast bar that is not going to fill you up and is full of sugar, but it's only 200 calories, as opposed to several eggs and some mushrooms and tomatoes or spinach, there's your game changer, because you're going to have a plate full of food. You're going to be really satisfied, as opposed to have this little tiny bar in a beautiful shiny wrapper, but actually when you put it on a plate, it's not a lot of food and it's full of sugar. It might be 200 calories, but it's full of stuff that isn't going to serve you, that isn't going to keep you satisfied, and you're going to be hungry within a few hours. So then you're going to need more food. So then all of a sudden you've eaten half your day's calories without really wanting to, because you're hungry. The thing is, the government guidelines say that women on average need 2,000 calories a day. That figure has been around for years and years and years, and our lifestyles have changed. We are not, in general, as active. A lot of people are still not walking several times a day. And this is one of the reasons why I focus with my ladies on the creating their own food framework and not necessarily obsessing over the calories, because when they do that, they can start to understand more about what their body needs as opposed to what calories they're eating. They can tune into their body rather than thinking, well, body, you can't have any more because I'm at my calories. Another lady said her biggest problem was people feeding her everywhere she went. Let's just explore this. First of all, we can't blame other people. We have a choice on whether we say yes to that food. So if you are going to various places, whether that is work situations, whether it is going to visit your mother, your friend, whatever it is, if you're going to those places and those people are always getting out the biscuits, they're always cooking for you, then it is your responsibility to, if you don't want to eat something, to say no thank you. I appreciate this can be difficult. Now, I would say, first of all, just step back and look within. Do you kind of, you take the food because actually it's a great excuse for you to come off the plan that you're following, for you to not lose weight, because it's like, oh, well, it's kind of not my fault. They provided it for me and I can't say no. And if that's the case, then obviously you need to look at that. Often my ladies say they feel rude to refuse food. So if that's you, then I would be asking, why do I feel rude? What do I think is going to happen in this situation? So you might feel rude because you've always been taught that it's rude to say no. If somebody's gone through the effort of cooking, or if somebody's offering you something, it's rude to say no. So what we've got to think about here is, people like to show their love by offering food, and that is probably not going to change. If someone comes into your home, you say, would you like a cup of tea? It's usually the first thing we do. We offer something. It's a way of welcoming, it's a way of showing love, it's a way of trying to nourish the other person. And that is the way it is. So you have to change what you do if that is a stumbling block for you. Now, this might be just saying something like, no, thank you, I've already eaten today, or, I've just had my lunch and I'm not hungry. Or it might be actually that there's people you need to have a conversation with and say, I'm doing this, I'm really working hard on changing my relationship with food, and one of the things I need to do is to speak to people and just say, when I say no thank you, I'm not being rude, this is how I'm feeling. And now I appreciate we can't always have those open, honest conversations with people. So it is you developing strategies. I was at a meeting last week and I didn't want the type of foods that was on offer. And I just said, oh, I've already eaten, thank you so much. And that is just my go-to. I've already eaten, thank you. I hadn't, and I was going to eat when I got home. But it was just easier to say that than to eat the type of food that was on offer that I wasn't expecting and actually I didn't really want. And the amount of women that say to me, oh, I didn't really want it, but I ate it. I always say, if you're going to eat something, let's say you're going to eat a piece of cake because you really, really want it, then go for it. Eat that piece of cake, but definitely don't go and put all that sugar and all those calories into your body if you don't even really want it, because that's really just treating your body with such disrespect, and you're just doing that because you don't want to offend someone else because you feel that you can't say no. So that's one tip. The other thing you might want to do is think about each situation. Where is it that you go that you're always offered food? And how can you plan your day? Maybe you plan your day so you go there at lunchtime and you eat with that person, or maybe take each situation and think, right, when do I go there? What's on offer? How do I work around it? But again, the most important thing to do is go back to you. Check in with yourself. What is going on for me here? Am I just using this as an excuse? If the answer is genuinely no, then how can I navigate around this situation? And the last one I wanted to cover, and maybe I'll come back to some more in another episode, but the last one I wanted to cover is that people always lose weight faster than me. And because of that, it feels unfair. And then I just think it's going to be hard, I'm going to be miserable, and it's not maintainable. There's definitely some kind of letting go of comparing yourself to others, because we are unique. We are all so individual, and we all have our own stuff going on, and our bodies are all different, and you are never going to be able to be somebody else. You are in your own body. So it's about accepting that the weight loss process takes as long as it takes. Stop comparing your weight loss to other people and just focus on you. And I appreciate that's difficult, but you can't change that. Only you can change and focus on your results and not worrying about everyone else. I see it all the time. People are scrolling through Instagram, they're comparing themselves to their friends, they're looking for before and after photos. Those people have different body makeups to you. So let go of that comparison. I think they call it comparisonitis. And then there's weight loss feeling hard. Well, if you believe weight loss is going to be hard, then it will be. Now, I can see where this belief comes from. It comes from years and years of trying to lose weight and not being successful. I completely get that. But, and I know this lady will have watched my masterclass and heard me talk about our belief system, and there is an episode on limiting beliefs if you go back. I'm sorry guys, I'm not sure when I spoke about this, but there's definitely a limiting belief episode. You need to work on changing your beliefs, because if you constantly think weight loss is going to be hard, it always will be hard. So start living in the energy of how can it be easy today? What can I do today to help my weight loss be easy? What can I do today to help my relationship with food, to channel my energy into nourishing my body? Because whilst you are living in that energy, you're just going to go around in that cycle. You're going to hate every moment of it. And that's the other thing. We need to learn to enjoy the journey, because weight loss is not a destination. It's not about just being a certain weight, because when you get there, the journey carries on. I promise you, I lost weight in 2004 to 2005 over the Christmas period and into April. And when I got there, that was not the end of the journey. That was the start. Wow, like that was just such a tiny piece of the puzzle. For the last, 18 years, I have been trying to fine-tune my relationship with food. So get used to enjoying the process. See it as this huge experiment of learning to understand your body, of learning what your body actually needs, of learning thought management, behavior management, of learning how to channel your energy to attract ease. And when you see it as that experiment, that process, and when you have compassion for yourself and you can do this journey without judgment, without berating yourself, then it will be a lot easier. So release the belief of it being hard, release the belief that you're going to be miserable doing it, and just see it as a process, an experiment, and enjoy the ride. So I hope that's helpful. That is it for today. I'm going to head off and go and get myself ready for this wonderful day ahead. And as I say, please grab the masterclass, have a look at the details of the Food Foundation course if that is of interest to you. And if you want to chat about it, just drop me a message. We can hop on a call. Yeah, have a great day wherever you are in the world. Take care, guys.